Welcome, everyone. I'm Sage,
I'm Megan.
and you're back with the Squeaky Floorboard Society. Welcome, guys. We're almost done with
Woo!
season one.
Yeah, this is what, second to last,
Yeah, and
other than
then
our little get
our
together video.
recap thing, and that's gonna be. I'm excited for that. Do
Me
you
too.
have any small talk?
Yeah, I do actually. So if you guys want the world's greatest cough drops, this is not sponsored, obviously. These okay, so Sage, have you ever had these Vicks VapoCool cough drops?
No, because I usually use kids' cough drops because I am
All
a
right.
child at heart.
So typically they've got like 0.5 menthol and a percent menthol in a cough drop. This has 20 milligrams of menthol in it,
I mean, I
and
have
it's like
menthol.
yeah, bit different, bit of a different use here.
Yeah.
The first time I put one in, I made this face for like 40 minutes. Tastes terrible. Tastes terrible. Not only will your throat go numb, your tongue will go numb too.
So this is gonna be like really weird. So I'm gonna out myself a little bit. I'll call this my small talk for today. Anytime I get a really bad sore throat, I buy the Good Head blowjob spray
Oh, that's fair. I see
because
your thought
it numbs
process.
your throat for way longer
Yeah.
than normal cough syrup does.
That's smart.
And so, because it's designed for like having a lot of fun for extended
Right.
periods of time. And so it like will numb everything and I love it. And you can get fun flavors like blueberry and watermelon. So
You
they
know,
don't taste bad.
Daryl had like medicinal throat numbing spray that he gave me the first day I was sick. That shit tasted like imagine if medicine was even worse.
Oh,
And it's directly in the back of your throat running down. It's like if you took medicine and it gave you post-nasal drip, like you just did a
ugh,
fat line of white lightning.
ugh.
It was the worst sensation I can imagine. It was like nasty ass cherry grape cough syrup.
No, thank you. See, this is why Good Head's amazing. You can get
No.
flavors that you would actually like.
Or you can use these nasty ass cough drops that I was trying to talk to a customer at work. Absolutely not. I had one of these in my mouth. I was like, aisle five. Couldn't feel my tongue. They're like, it's like an old person too. They're like, huh? Huh? Because they can't fucking hear you anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's my little tidbit, guys. If you have a sore throat and you don't like taking normal cough medicine, get the Good Head throat numbing spray for blowjobs. I promise you, it works. And you get to taste blueberries until your mouth goes numb.
I'm just imagine like okay, listen. If you live at home with your parents, maybe hide that shit.
I didn't when
Or
I.
don't. Or don't. Your parents are special. Or don't actually. Just be like, "Mom, Dad, I've strep throat. It's killing me. I heard from a podcast online that this will fix it. Will you drive me to the local sex shop? And I need you to go in and get it cuz I'm not old enough to go in."
It's like, I told my mom to do it. I think that she got some and she was like, it actually works. I'm like, I'm telling you.
I can't imagine telling my mom to do that. That's absolutely crazy.
Well, because the first time I ever used it, not for being sick, my mouth and throat were numb for 8 hours. And so let me tell you, when I got sick,
You're like,
I'm like, you're going to tell me that my throat would be numb for 8 hours?
that doesn't seem safe. How do
I'm,
you eat if your mouth and your throat are numb?
I, well, I was actively dying from whatever I had at that point. So I don't think it really mattered
Oh,
to me.
fair.
And I was
Fair.
mainly just drinking water and soup.
You know what's crazy is this time that I've been sick. So I got sick on Tuesday. I was at work and I was like, man, I just don't feel very good. I felt kind of rough when I went in, but I thought, oh, I'm just tired because I go into work at 5 o'clock in the morning and I get up at 4. But I was like, man, I just don't feel very good. I went over to my parents' house to finish up some homework, and my mom's like, you're really like sweaty. Let me take your temperature. I had 101-degree fever,
Oh my
and I was
goodness.
just walking around. I had no idea. I thought I was just hot from work because I walk around all day.
Isn't it crazy that when you're an adult with the temperature, it feels like it's also a crime? Like taking a math class as an almost 26-year-old feels like a crime.
Yeah, like I feel like as an adult I'm not allowed to be sick.
Yeah,
And then of course, since I have a toddler, toddlers don't care if you're sick. Kids do not care if you're sick. I said, "Baby boy, you got to stay away from mommy and just bother your dad cuz I don't feel good. I'm sick. I don't want to get you sick." And so now that I'm definitely not contagious anymore. I went to the doctor, double checked everything. I don't have COVID, strep, or the flu. They
that's
swabbed
good.
me. I should have some virus. But I told him, "No, buddy, the doctor said I'm not contagious. I can kiss you goodnight and stuff." He goes, "Don't kiss me. I get sick."
He took that literally.
He did. He's done good about he's actually after the first day he did pretty good about not getting up in my face and stuff. But that first day he was like, "Mommy, why are you not doing everything I ask you to do the moment I ask you to do it? And why are you not laying in my bed with me? And why are you not carrying me around? And why are you not giving me kisses? And why are you not hugging me and cuddling me?" So I don't want you because if you get this, we're all gonna be miserable. You're 4. Like 4-year-olds are not fun.
Sick children in general are not fun.
No. And so now I feel like an evil witch is cursing me or something. Because how did I break my toe and get whatever this is in the same month?
Let me tell you, the winter is not for the weak. I heard you
My
guys
foot
still have a
is
bunch of snow.
no, it's mostly melted now.
We had like an inch, and they like called for 2-hour delays everywhere here. And I'm like, guys,
We got about 4 inches here.
I would see like pictures of like it being deep in some areas.
Yeah, I mean, my area in particular, we only got about 4 inches, but like they didn't plow the roads. That was the problem. They didn't plow the roads.
They never
Like when I
do.
went, but like even the main roads weren't plowed.
Again, they
When I went
never
to
do.
when I went to work, the main road was not plowed and my road was definitely not plowed. And I was like, how are people going to get to Arby's
Literally.
if this road's not plowed? But
Oh, Arby's sounds so good.
their mozzarella sticks cannot be beaten.
No, I like to get the. I love the French dip. And I like to dip
The French dip is
the
good.
the uh mozzarella sticks into the
Okay, that's
mushroom
wrong.
sauce. No, it's good.
That's incorrect.
It is.
That is
It
incorrect.
is so good though.
Oh, um, they have a brisket sandwich sometimes.
Oh, the
That thing's so
smokehouse
good.
brisket.
That thing is so good. I just order it with no bacon.
It's honestly, I hate that Arby's gets so much hate.
Arby's, all of the hate that Arby's gets is not deserved and should instead be placed on Hardee's and Wendy's.
I like Wendy. Well, I only like
I don't
the
like our Wendy's.
I like their spicy chicken sandwiches. They're the only place that
Here's some.
doesn't make them like shit.
There's some Wendy's that are okay. Actually, no. You know who deserves all the fucking hate in terms of food?
What?
Subway. Subway. Because it always smells so good, and no matter what I get, it never lives up to the smell.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that. I can agree
Like
with
you
that.
walk past a Subway and it smells like the best food ever. And anything I've ever ordered, I'm like, this is okay. Like, this is passable. I'll eat it. I enjoy eating this. But
I stopped getting bread. I started getting where you can make any 6 inch of salad, and that's what I get now.
an interesting thought. I've gotten into salad recently.
I have two. I've also been getting into birds lately as well, so I don't know what's happening to me.
There's a bird in our store right now that we can't get out.
Really? What type?
Yeah, I don't know. He's just a little guy. One of those parking lot birds. He flew in because it was cold, but he can't
Honestly,
figure out how to get
felt.
out.
Felt.
I'm like, you know what? He's like eating expired bread probably because he's not dead. He's been in there for like 2 weeks. And he's not dead yet, so he's eating something.
Do you remember when the Wally were in that town? He used to have the fish tanks on the back and like the amount of birds that would be back there.
Yeah, I do. I miss those
Oh my
fish tanks.
goodness. I do too.
Now I have to go all the way to the city to go look at fish at PetSmart.
I if I really want to go look at fishies, I'll just
No,
spend the
it's
50.
Petco. I go to Petco.
If I really want to go look at fishies, I'll drive the hour and a half it takes me to get to Baltimore to go to the National Aquarium.
That's fair. That's fair.
They have
I
dolphins.
I have to drive way too far to get to Newport. And also, every time I drive to Newport to go to the aquarium, I just think of that thing of Squidward being like, "They have them, motherfucking Newports."
Are we
Yeah,
ready
so
for today's?
I am ready. I'm ready. I'll shut up.
No, you're good.
But I am thinking. Just know the whole time you're talking, I'm gonna be thinking about Arby's now.
RV sounds so good. I have to drive to Gettysburg to get some.
It's great.
Gettysburg's not that far. It's just I gotta go to
Yeah, but
Gettysburg.
just I gotta go to Gettysburg to get Arby's is just a crazy sentence to me who lives here.
Gettysburg is really pretty, though. I will give them that.
Yeah, I'll give him that. It's nice.
All right, are we? We are ready. Okay, so today we're diving into another chilling case, and I did love this one, but not as much as I loved Roulet's case.
Okay.
There was a lot of information on this case, and things were super easy to find. So,
Oh, that's great.
my favorite type. So, it's another real trial, another real confession, and another real boy. And when I'm reading that out loud, all I can think of is Pinocchio. I'm a real boy.
Real boy. A real boy.
So, today we're talking about the case of Jean Garnier, a boy who said he hunted children in the woods and ate them. So we are going back to the 1600s in the dense, shadowy forest of southwestern France. Again, guys, this is my last France episode. Take it in. Just internalize this episode. So,
Bonjour.
Jean lived near the forest La Doble region, a place thick with old trees, shadows, and superstitions. People in rural fans. Come on, this is the last episode. Get your shit together. All right. People in rural France feared wild animals not as a metaphor, but as a daily danger. Wolves were common, and in this uneasy landscape, the idea that some wolves might be men in disguise didn't seem so far fetched. The Catholic Church didn't help ease these fears. Quite the opposite, actually. They stoked them. Werewolves were often seen as heretic or worse, devil servants. In the Parliament of Bordeaux, worked closely with the church's authorities, so their decisions reflected religious dogma as much as civil law. Now, let's talk about Jean. He was poor and wild looking. People described him as dirty, disheveled, and off. He didn't keep jobs. Instead, he wandered from farm to farm, doing odd jobs. Overall, Jean was familiar yet an untrusted character. What did I say wrong that you're laughing at before?
You didn't say anything wrong. I'm just saying, did either of us date this man? You said he couldn't keep a job. He didn't have a job. He's dirty.
Guys, actually, this is my ex-boyfriend.
Which one of our exes is this?
I can give you a list of mine.
That's why I was laughing.
I thought I was like, what did I say wrong? I started to panic.
No.
Locals often found him neglectful of his task. He was there, but somehow always on the outside, known but feared. And he told strange stories to whoever would listen. It was in this environment that Jean, around 13 or 14, made the shocking announcement. He told villagers that he has been stalking, killing, and eating children in the area, not in a secret. The confession wasn't dragged out from him from torture. No, Jean Garnier declared it openly, as if it were just a simple fact. Naturally, when children were going missing in the area, this was enough to get him arrested immediately. What are your
So
thoughts?
just unprompted,
Yep,
pulling a thief.
yep. I will
He
give
just
him
walked out
credit.
into the town square and went, "I've been eating kids, bro."
Literally. Which, like, before we get too far in this, I am going to say this seems more like a suicide mission to me.
This seems like mental illness already.
Because, like, at least Thies was just on his own page.
Thies was doing what Thies does. Thies never, like, he confessed to being a good werewolf.
Yeah.
This guy just unprompted told everybody, "I've been snapping up all those kids that are missing.
Yeah,
Just been
literally.
absolutely, I've been snacking."
Literally. And it's going to get wilder. So, what was his
Good.
story, or how did he become a werewolf? Well, let's talk about it. He claimed that he met a man in the woods who he called Monsieur de la Forest. Monsieur de la Forest had marked Jean with a nail and gave him a wolf skin and a magic salve. With these tools, Jean said he could transform into a wolf whenever he wanted, especially at night. And he said he did. He described slinking into the woods, rubbing the salve on his skin, wrapping himself in the wolf skin, and changing. His senses sharpened, his limbs grew strong, and he became a beast, and he hunted. He claimed his first transformation happened when he was about 10 or 11 years old. Now, mind you, he is about 13, 14 at this time, so it's only been like 3 to 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Jean said that he went out hunting when commanded to do so by Monsieur de la Forest, who was his master. He preferred to go out in the daytime when the moon was waning, but sometimes went out as a wolf at night. Monsieur had forbidden him to bite the thumbnail of his left hand and to always keep it in sight when he was in wolf form.
Okay, question. This man's name is Monsieur de la Forest?
Yep.
Mr. of the Forest?
Yep.
It took me a second to understand. So at first I thought you were saying Monsieur de la Forest, and I was like, okay, that's very French. But Monsieur de la Forest, he just randomly dropped in an English word?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, continue, carry on.
So, did you hear the last sentence about the forbidden to bite the thumbnail?
Yeah.
All right. So, this nail was longer and thicker than his other nails. Jean confessed to attacking livestock, but said he preferred small children. Their flesh, he claimed, was sweeter. He actually referred to their flesh as a supreme delicacy. One of the most important figures in this case was a young shepherdess named Margaret Poyer. Margaret was a 13-year-old girl who lived near the village of Saint Anton de Pizan. She was well acquainted with Jean because she attended sheep with him. He often frightened her with his wild and gruesome stories of being a werewolf and killing and eating dogs and girls. One girl he nearly devoured and threw the remainder of her corpse to a wolf that arrived. The second girl he bit to death, lapped up her blood, and ate every bit of her except for her arms and shoulders. One day, Margaret had an experience that terrified her so much that she abandoned her flock and ran home. Do you know how bad it has to be to scare her when you know that she sees wolves and everything else out there?
Also, she's like just hanging around this guy. She's like she's stuck in the back of the class with the weird kid who thinks they're a wolf.
And they're the same age. They're both about 13, 14 years old.
Like that's crazy though. She's like, yeah, I'm just a normal shepherdess attending my sheep, and this guy over here keeps telling me he's eating people.
Which, like, why aren't you telling anyone?
This is my classmate, uh, Jean. He thinks he says he's the alpha. He's out. He's that teenager that's got like the 3 wolf moon shirt and the
Yeah,
fedora on, and he's like, "You won't like me when I'm angry.
literally.
I'm the alpha, a woo princess." Yeah, he's that
The
guy.
level of which my body, like, cringed.
Don't worry. Later, at the end of this episode, perhaps I will recount some of his quotes in that voice.
So, Jean said he had killed only one dog, a white one, and had drank its blood. He had wounded another dog, but it was chased off by its owner. He describes killing several children, an infant that he dragged from its cradle and devoured and shared with a wolf. A girl shepherd he tore his teeth and nails and ate. A child by a strong bridge he assaulted. She testified that Jean had not only threatened her, but had transformed and attacked her. She described her attacker: a creature with short legs, red fur, a stumpy tail, and rage-filled eyes. And it didn't match any of the known wolves in the area, and she fought it off with her staff. After escaping, she returned home where her parents took her story seriously and reported Jean. Later, when questioned in court, Jean admitted he had indeed intended to kill and eat her. Another girl, Janine Gabarant, testified that Jean told her of 2 separate occasions where he had eaten a young girl. One time, he had shared the remains with a wolf companion. He testified to several instances where he had devoured the young. In one horrific instance, he even admitted to having eaten a newborn.
You're just nasty for that.
Literally. He explained that he had committed these acts of cannibalism at the command of his master. Jean told someone that he had wrapped the wolfskin cape around him every Monday, Friday, and Sunday for about an hour at dusk every other day. This changed him into a werewolf. and he told the girls, quote, I have killed dogs and drunk their blood. But little girls taste better. Their flesh is tender and sweet, their blood rich and warm. I have eaten many a maiden, as I have been on my raids together with my 9 companions. I am a werewolf, laughing. If the sun were to set, I would soon fall on one of you and make a meal of you. End quote.
I see why they didn't come forward sooner, though, because would you take him seriously either?
I don't think I would take. I don't think I would have.
If the sun would have set, would we make a meal out of you? Like, that's what I'm picturing. So yeah, I see why these girls, they're just like, that's, yeah, he's just fucking weird, but he's not a werewolf. That's crazy.
But yeah, I think this is also the time where like a lot of the hysteria is going on too. So like, but also the
Yeah, but
frontal lobe doesn't really develop until you're about 25. So,
right, and also I feel like maybe, like I said, they're what, 13, 14.
hmm
Once again, to them, he's just their weird peer
that yeah,
that
that is
says
true.
shit. Like, he's probably always been that way, and so when it progressed to like, yeah, I'm out here drinking the blood of dogs, they were just like, he's on this shit again.
That actually, that's a valid point.
Like, that's the vibe I'm getting by the fact that they were, and the fact that he specifically was like, yeah, young girls taste the best to these young girls. They're like,
Well,
oh my god,
the
he's saying
story's
stuff again.
the story's going to get a little bit more gruesome.
Okay.
So, you need to remember this is 17th century France. So there was no clean break between religion and law like we have today. If you committed a crime, your trial and your fate often rested with the church authorities. So, on June 2nd, 1603, is when Jean was arrested. Jean was put on trial in 1603 by Parliament of Bordeaux. According to Jean, his own father also had a wolf skin and ran with him on one occasion when he killed and ate a girl. The girl was tending geese in the village of Grilland. His stepmother left because once she saw him vomit the paws of a dog and small fingers that she believed to be children's. When confronted with his father, Jean wavered but then stuck to his story. There was no evidence against his father, so his case was dismissed by the courts. Jean himself, present at the scene, asked to be imprisoned and gave a full testimony alongside 3 witnesses. Margaret testified, quote, while he wore a wolf's skin, he was transformed into a wolf. That is, in this form, he killed and ate dogs. That he had killed near his village a white dog, partially eaten its throat, and drank the blood. But the flesh and blood of dogs was not as good as that of his children. And that he had entered a house on the from Saint Anton a derail and had no one but a small child, whom he had gone to eat near a garden hedge, having given the biggest portion to a nearby wolf, went and ate a girl. End quote. Now, again, a lot of the stuff that we do find are in France, like in French. So these are translated. So yell
Right.
Google Translate, not me. The testimony that Jean and Margaret had were the exact same. But we learned that Jean did not have an accomplice named Pierre Laurent, who is said to have kept wolf skins in a jar containing some sort of salve for Jean. Jean also mentioned a lot about running in company of 8 or 9 others on certain days of a week when the moon is low. Labyrinth himself, meanwhile, lives in a house in the forest where he gnaws on metal chains around his neck. Inside the house are various men being roasted, boiled, and burnt. In another story, Jean described being taken into the forest to talk to a tall black gentleman that was mounted on a black horse, which is a common thing we've heard across several of these French stories.
Mm-hmm.
And these are different, we are kind of talking about some of the different theories and folklore mixes in. So if it seems like we just jumped randomly somewhere, and there's other folklore that we're discussing briefly. Apparently, this man gave him cold kisses and made promises of food and money in exchange for services. We've heard this in another story with the Benedonti,
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
And we heard that as well with those 3 guys.
Yeah, oh my gosh, not the Bees of Javadon.
Mm-mm.
What case was that? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Because it's Filbert's one of them.
Yeah, they all got
Poloni
burned.
or Poligny?
Polini, I think it's Polini that happened.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Yeah,
it
they
was.
said that he just couldn't go to confession anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Um, and he had also apparently brandished Jean on the thigh. Accompanying Jean was a man named Pierre de Tiller, who underwent the same treatment at the hands of this tall black gentleman. And another said accomplice during the meeting was Jean's father, Pierre Garnier. Still, despite all the confessions and testimony of missing children, Jean wasn't executed.
Surprising.
I know, that's why I like this case. The outcome: he was declared mentally unfit for executions. The court believed he wasn't just evil, he was possessed. Possessed by a
Oh,
demon while suffering from clinical lycanthropy.
okay.
So they didn't sentence him to death. Instead, they sent him to live out the rest of his days in the Franciscan monastery. So I actually had to look up what a monastery was at the time of doing this research because I didn't know what it was. So if you were like me and also didn't know what it is a building or complex of buildings comprising the domestic quarters and workplaces of monastics, monks,
Monastics.
that word, monks or nuns, whether living in communities or alone. So essentially,
Yeah.
kind of like a community of religious people.
Yeah, it's just where like nuns or monks live. There's a monastery not too far from where I live called St. Meinrad's.
All right. Well, the court concluded he was not wicked but mad, a victim of possession, delusions, or possible clinical lycanthropy, a rare psychiatric disorder where a person believes they can transform into an animal. So they sent him away. While locked in the monastery, Jean remained strange. He would howl at the moon. He would run around on all fours. He refused any cooked food and demanded only raw meat. He claimed that the Lord of the Forest still visited him. He spent about 7 years in the monastery. But this wasn't just a tale of a boy. This case drew the attention of one of the most infamous witch hunters and one of the witch hunters in French history, Pierre de Lorentz. Pierre, who later spearheaded the Basque witch trials, executed over 600 people, personally examined Jean years later, and his observations are straight from a horror novel. According to Pierre, Jean was diminutive in stature, very shy, and unwilling to look anyone in the face. His eyes were deep set and restless. His teeth were long and protruding. His nails were black, worn down like claws. His mind is completely barren. He couldn't even grasp the simplest of things. In 1612, Pierre published a book that will I will not try to pronounce because I know that I'm going to completely butcher that. But the English translation is The Inconsistency of Bad Angels and Demons.
Hmm.
It was in this book where he recounted Jean's trial in detail. He talks about how Jean would bust into maniacal laughter. Jean claimed that he had a master had promised him that he'd soon be free to roam again as a wolf. Shortly after Pierre's visit, Jean passed away. Jean never left the monastery. He died there. Still convinced that he was not human, and that, dear listeners, is a story of Jean Garnier. Not a legend, not a bedtime tale, but a real boy tried and judged in the eyes of the law and the church. A boy who confessed to murder, to cannibalism, and to transforming under the cover of night. This case stands not as a footnote in werewolf lore, but as one of the most haunting and documented accounts of lycanthropy in European history. Jean Garnier didn't just claim to be a werewolf, he lived and died as one.
Yeah, I think he's a really good example of because once you two are like, yeah, he went to go live in a monastery. I have read about Jean Grenier before. Um, I didn't realize that until we got to that part though. And I mean, he 100% suffered from clinical lycanthropy.
It is cool that
And
they were able to be like, no, like you.
I do think part of it was because of his age.
Yeah, he was 13 to 14 if you guys don't remember. He
Yeah,
was
like
in the middle of
that's shady.
puberty.
Yeah, that's shady as fuck to execute a 13-year-old for being a werewolf. Like Hans was young, but Hans was an adult.
Yeah.
Like Hans was 18 or 19 years old. I think Jean, and also like based on the description of him, there was just very clearly something not right about him.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that the court was like, you know what? Let's not burn him at the stake. I think
Yeah.
he's possessed. Like you had the wrong conclusion, but the correct outcome.
Yeah.
For the time because psychiatric care was not a thing yet.
No.
So the best thing you could do was put him in a monastery.
And like the only case that we've really discussed up to this point where it was like, no, this is just clinical lycanthropy, like
Mhm.
your Drake has been Roma Santa.
Right.
And he was diagnosed at the time, and that was like what, the 1800s. So
Yeah,
like mental
that
health
was
was
later.
a little bit better than it was in 1608.
Like, this is very progressive for medieval France.
Yeah. So,
So, good job, France. You did something right for once.
well, they also Nicholas Demont, you were also like you were
Oh,
on
yeah,
France's
him.
side.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no, France, this is the second time I've agreed with you. Don't make me do it again.
Well, we're out of France. Our next episode and the last episode of the season does not take place in France at all.
Woohoo! Sorry, I had to cough.
You're good. So, guys, that is the end of my French.
I'm,
like,
I'm specifically clapping so that when you put it in 2 times, like 2x speed, it looks really silly again.
yeah, guys. So, give us your thoughts and opinions on this case as well. Do you think
If
that France did a good job? Do you think that maybe there was a little bit more going on?
Do you suffer from clinical lycanthropy?
My mind just went back to that TikTok live. Got really scared for a second. That just like flashed in my mind again.
I know who you're
You guys
talking about.
do not eat raw pork. I'm just gonna put that out there.
You know what? I'm gonna take it a step further. Don't eat pork. Pork is one of the worst meats you can eat
That is true.
in terms of parasitic content and all the shit that
Hmm.
pigs eat.
Literally.
Pigs eat people. Cows don't do that.
No, but cows do chew on cud all day.
Yeah, I'm fine with them chewing cud. I
Have
don't
you
want
ever
them
had them
chewing.
spit cut out on you?
No,
It's
I
gross.
have not had that experience, and I have been around cows recently a few times. Cause Daryl's uncle owns cows,
Well,
and they're very cute. I love cows.
I do too.
I'm surprised I can. I say I'm surprised I can eat them. I don't eat meat hardly ever because I really like cows.
That reminds me, I gotta make sure Dennis cleans out that cooler.
And also, my Crohn's disease says I shouldn't. I don't tolerate red meat well.
My dad, when I go back to Indiana, my dad's giving me like a cooler full of deer meat.
Why hasn't your dad given me any?
He's got, they've got a deep freeze full, and he's got a deer waiting for to be butchered. He's got a deep freezer full, and his entire freezer is full as well.
Ask your dad how much for some deer meat.
I will.
I'll pay him for some deer meat. And for those of you who are about to be up our butts about, oh, hunting, hunting, hunting. If we don't hunt the deer, there will be too many.
That is true. They reproduce like crazy.
Like, there's a reason that deer season exists, y'all. If we did not hunt the deer, there would be no grass.
I also want to tell you guys too that if you guys think hunting's bad and oh, you can just go out there and shoot whatever deer you want. No. So at least I
It's
could only say for one state, you get one buck tag and two doe tags. So it's only three tags, which means you can only take about three deer down.
And they have to be of a certain maturity.
Mm-hmm. Um. So yeah, and then you have to claim them. Now, landowners, that's a whole different. They've got different things they can follow. You can claim as many deers as you want. I think if you're a landowner, um, especially if you have farmland, that's a whole different story. But if you're going out onto private or to public hunting grounds, you're allowed three deer. So, just want to
Like, there's
put that out
there's
there.
definitely, and it's not just deer season. The reason that there are seasons for things is because one, there's enough animals that have reached maturity in that season from that species, and two, that tends to be when they get overpopulous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you hunt deer in the winter because deer become an absolute menace in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't hunt deer, say goodbye to all your cars. Because
Literally.
there's gonna be so many deer, you're just gonna be hitting deer left and right. I'm starting to sound like Donald Trump in the way I'm speaking about deer. If we don't hunt the deer, you will be hitting deers left and right with your cars. Say goodbye to your cars, people. They're coming everywhere.
I love
We have to
it.
close the borders. We have to close the deer borders.
Yeah,
Like,
so don't don't be too shitty with us. And if you are curious about it, look into it. If you don't know and you're like defending something you don't know 100% about, look it up.
and also, I think we both probably agree trophy hunting's wrong.
Yeah.
I don't believe in trophy hunting, but I do believe in hunting for food.
I
If it's
think,
okay to hunt, it's okay to hunt things if you're gonna eat them,
yeah.
or if they're a threat. Like there's sometimes they'll have coyote season out here because we have so many coyotes that
Hmm.
they become a danger.
Same with bobcats, too.
Mhm. Yeah. Or like wild hog season, you have to hunt wild hogs, dude. Wild hogs are meaner than shit, and
Hmm.
if there's too many of them,
They'll
I just
destroy towns.
they will destroy things,
Hmm.
and they'll eat people because they're pigs.
Hmm. That is true.
I've heard of it happening.
There's a, at least there used to be, I don't know if there still is, there's a huge population out in area.
Wild hogs?
Yeah.
Oh,
Razorbacks.
I just know about it from Texas, living in
All right, I'm gonna cut
Texas.
this part out. A
You mention it.
bunch. My dad was gonna grab a baby one and throw it in the back of the truck. It wasn't even his truck.
Just throwing it out in random trucks.
It was his buddy's truck. He's like, well, like, slow down. We can grab this one. And he's like, I'm not grabbing a fucking hog and putting it in the back of my truck. He's like, it's a baby. It'll be fine. He's like, that thing will destroy this vehicle.
They're strong as hell.
They are. And if I'm correct, Razorbacks, they have tusks too,
I think so.
I think. Well, guys, let us know your thoughts. Sorry that we got onto a whole tangent about hunting, but
Actually, I'm not sorry. More people need to give it some thought.
yeah. And
I see
especially
too many
too,
people online talking out their butts about it.
and in this economy, granted, hunting licenses are expensive, but in this economy, deer meat, you kill 3 deers, that's enough to get you through a year or two, depending on how
Like
often you
literally.
actually eat. And then guess what? You're not spending money on meat. And when you go to the store, all you're buying are sides. You're
Like, you know
saving
what?
money.
As somebody who is essentially a pescatarian, because I eat meat very, very rarely, because I'm not a fan of the meat industry. Like, not only do I have health issues, but I also don't like the meat industry. Um, so I mostly just eat fish. If I shot and killed a deer tomorrow, we'd be eating good for the next however long the meat stayed good for in the freezer.
Yeah. And deer meat stays good for a long time.
And it's tasty.
Mm-hmm.
A deer tenderloin, pan seared. Chef's
Yep.
kiss, man.
You can make a pot
Chef's
roast out of
kiss.
it.
Oh, there's so much. Some stew,
Yeah.
some good deer stew with
Mm-hmm.
some veggies, some
And
taters.
see, it saves you guys a lot of money, actually.
And also, it, hunting for sustenance has always been well accepted. And I know that some people are like, oh, you shouldn't eat animals anyway. I promise you, if you go up to a deer in real life, you'll understand why people want to kill deer.
And also, like,
My partner
I
was attacked by a deer as a teenager.
I believe that. I
He
can.
looks like somebody that would get attacked by a deer.
Yeah.
I said, was it like in Are We There Yet with Ice Cube where he gets attacked? He said just exactly like that, dude.
I love that. Did they go to him for notes on how to make this deer look?
Probably. He said it just ran the fuck up on him.
But deer also are not an invasive species, but they, if you have farmland or gardens and stuff like that, they will completely fuck up your garden.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but keeping the deer population in check is important.
Uh,
Um,
I actually
Keeping any
have
animal population in check is important.
I have a really funny story. There was my mom used to have a garden, and she loves my mom loved tomatoes. She can't have them anymore because she's on kidney dialysis, but she loved, like, she would, that would be her snack. She would cut up 2 to 3 tomatoes, put a little bit of ranch in there, salt and pepper, and then just eat a bowl of
Oh,
tomatoes
that
like
sounds
that.
good. That sounds
She
good.
loves tomatoes. And she had a garden when she had like rows upon rows of tomatoes. And she had one that was almost ready to be picked, and she was super excited about it. And she came home the next morning and there was no evidence of this tomato ever existing.
A deer
But
got
a
it.
neighbor asked my mom, she's like, "Hey, I have a bunch of tomatoes. Would you guys like them?" My mom's like, "Oh, yeah. Like, I love tomatoes." The tomatoes that my mom grew, this lady took from us and then gave us our tomatoes back. There was a restraining order involved in this and being her harassment, being stalked. It's a whole thing. But
Okay.
I feel like I drop a little bit of lore in here every time for y'all, and you're just like, what the fuck's going on?
Not where I thought that was going. All right, guys. Well, questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the comments or shoot us an email. If you like tomatoes, let us know. You know who likes tomatoes? Sasuke Uchiha likes tomatoes. Favorite food, canonically.
All right, guys. Give
We'll
us the
see you
email
for
for
our
personal
final
stories.
episode.